Hello and welcome back to another episode here on Judith Plains. Well, today we have the corn, it is ready, and unfortunately the rain is due at 2 o'clock as well. But we have one harvesting contract, which is sunflowers. I'm not sure if our header is going to manage to do that, but we need to go and purchase the corn header and get it brought down here. But first we are going to start and put one bucket full into here. Now I'm not sure, I did quickly look at this yesterday, there is quite a difference. So if we just put potatoes in, 100 potatoes equals 10 potato chips. But if we put any oil in, 100 potatoes gives us 3 times the amount of potato chips, only using a very small amount of oil. So I think because we don't have the oil factory, we are just going to add in a few pallets, let's see, 10, 12 and 12 litres, 12,000 litres, right, so we'll probably add in maybe a couple of pallets, and whatever price they're at just now, we are going to pay that out of the bank manually, like we did with the propane at the production, the ethanol plant. There's no point in us getting an oil factory for this, so we're just going to pay the actual cost. Whatever one's the highest cost, we're going to use that to make it a bit more realistic. So where are we going to find out which one of these canola, olive or sunflower oil is the highest price from the highest place buying? We're going to use that price and add that in. So let's find out what the price is in that. Well, after having a quick look, canola is $5,489, the highest price per 1,000 litres. Sunflowers, $6,116. And olive oil is the highest at $6,396 per 1,000 litres. So we're going to start with 4 pallets of olive oil. So 4 pallets of that is $6,396. Let's remove that money, which is $25,584. That's that money removed. So we've only got 130,000 left, so we'll probably need to do a contract today. However, let's get these moved into this production and we're going to get it started. So it does take quite a good bit of potatoes, so we're going to throw in maybe a couple of buckets first. Then we can purchase, in fact, if we purchase the header now. Oh, there's one in the sale. Nope, just sorghum. That would have been good, wouldn't it? Right, let's get down to harvesters. Combinations, and I think it was it that one? Yeah, because that's just sorghum, that's just sunflowers, that's corn and sunflowers. Yeah, so I think that is the best one. It's 13 meters, 9, 10, yeah, and they don't do corn, so they're no use. So that is the best one to get, the Geringhof North Star. So let's get that, we'll leave it in that colour. Probably better to take this over 2 years as well, so it reduces the cost, because I think we're at 36,000 a month now. So that's going to push us over 40,000 a month. And bearing in mind we've got the winter months as well, so we're not going to take 26,000 a month. That would be silly. That would just 2 months, and that would be us with payments. We wouldn't have anything in the bank. So over 2 years, 10% interest, $7,150. Let's get that. And with that, I think we're going to need a header trailer. Let's check for headers itself and then find the combinations. Yes. So that we can purchase outright, that's fine. Take a spare wheel just in case. Let's change it to our case colours. Is case a silver? I think case is silver wheels. Oh, that's the design, not the rim. So the rims are silver, right. So let's put this as something, let's put it as black. Yep, that will do. So to buy this outright, that's $20,000. Right, that's done. 102,000 in the bank now. Right, we'll get a worker up there, probably with a pickup, and he's going to take that back down here for us to the field, and we're going to start getting the corn harvested because our first load off the field needs to be pretty quick so that we can get it in to start processing for dry corn. But just now we are going to go and get this ready. What we'll do is we'll leave this here just now, and we've got our pallet fork should be in the grass we dumped somewhere when we took it round, ready to hook into our bucket. So they are here. And we'll move this pallet in, we can get this production going, because I don't think this is very fast, being one of the smaller productions. Let's try this view, I think. Should we put them all in one go? It'd be better if it's going to rain soon. There we go. Just don't turn too quickly. So 4,000 litres of olive oil. Oh, that didn't work, did it? There we go, right, that's taken it. So now that's in, let's go and start this production. There we go, and potato processing plant. So we've got olive oil in there. Yes, so olive oil, activate. So we should get 120 cycles per month. So that's only 60 sets of this a day, which isn't much. But hopefully it's enough over time. We'll leave that forks there. Not too close, we don't want to upset the pallets coming out of the production. That should bring in enough money. We'll just take a quick look actually. I don't think the canola, not the canola, well any of the oil, the canola, sunflower or olive oil, I don't think it affects the chips price. Because at the end of it, it's still potato chips. You're just getting 3 times as much using the oil. And chips, it'll be potato chips, isn't it? There. $4,581 per 1,000 litres at its best price, which is August. So we have the whole year almost. We've got a good 10 months of getting it produced, storing it in our shed, and then getting it all sold. Hopefully we can get a good chunk of this potatoes done, but we've got to make the potatoes last until we get this new thing, which should be, I'm hoping, the next episode. We've got everything we need right now. However, we do need to try and get a bit more income, because without the extra income we are going to have nothing left in about, well, 2 months now, because it's up to 40,000 now that we've purchased the corn header. So we'll get a couple more pallets in here. That guy's going to be on his way here very soon with the new corn header, and we're going to get into the fields, our ones. I wonder if there's another contract popped up yet. Usually they take a minute to kind of get sorted out in the morning. We've got a couple of good cultivating contracts, so that's good. Sunflowers, they're both sunflowers. Oh, our header can do sunflowers because we purchased, yeah, oh perfect, we can take on that harvesting contracts. That's good. And there's nothing else. We do have canola, but we don't have 116,000 litres worth. We do need it though. But yeah, we could potentially take on that contract later on once we've done our corn, because our corn is the priority, because we need to get that ethanol plant up and running again very quickly. So once that guy comes down here with a header, we're going to set him away with the combine. We'll go and get the combine set up. In fact, we don't need to. It's this first field here we're going to use. We'll get that set up. We'll do a little montage of harvesting the corn, and then we will see you at the grain dryer for our very first load this year. We need to get that trailer set up with the small tractor as well. That one's ready to go, and our small trailer it's in here, that's fine. And we'll get the grain dryer going. So we'll see you in a little bit once we are started with corn harvest. Well, that's our last load of corn going in now, so we can see how much we've got. We did take about, I think maybe 10,000 litres thereabouts out of the very first fill from the combine and put that into our grain dryer. So we're going to be about 10,000 litres short there. Let's just have a quick look. We did take on the harvesting contract, but we had to stop just now. We literally just started it. We are 1% complete and the rain has started. So we can't do anything with that, but that's $37,006 in total for that. It is sunflowers, so we can use the sunflowers as a backup alongside canola for what we're going to be doing. But the corn dryer, oh, it's out. Let's deactivate that. So we have 12,400, so we must have put almost 15,000 litres in total in. But now we have a full load of dried corn. We're going to take that over. We should have probably taken over some corn as well, but we could probably drop that in. We need to drop this dried corn into the grain bins and then take that over. We need sorghum, and we've got 191, so we've had about 200,000 litres of corn there. But for this, we need to take over dried corn because we're completely out. We'll dry some more corn, take over some corn and some sorghum as well. So we need to get the hoppers on that trailer with the truck filled up. We'll take that over. We don't need this trailer just now because it's starting to rain, but we do need the truck. Let's see how this is getting on. 382 litres of potato chips. So that's working away nice and slowly there. But we're going to fill the truck up. We need to take the corn out first. Get this dry corn. So let's fill this trailer up. It is really full, isn't it? Right, we'll fill this with dried corn. 12,000. Oh, it's not going to take the full amount though, is it? 8,000, yeah. I wonder if we can get the bigger trailer in there to do bigger loads. I don't want to spend a fortune on a big corn dryer because this one's enough. We can keep up with this. However, because it's raining, we need to do this very fast. We don't want the dried corn that we've just paid for to dry getting wet. So we'll drop this in here. We'll take the rest out. We'll put another load of corn in and dry that so that we've got plenty on hand because it uses a significant amount more of dried corn. I think that bigger trailer is going to be quicker to tip as well. In fact, I think let's use the bigger trailer. We'll just leave that here. Let's grab the quad track with this trailer and see if we can do it just a bit quicker. We're going to take out the rest of the dried corn first. I should have maybe moved the lime spreader out of the way first, actually. Because I don't think we're going to get in unless we reverse in at a funny angle. Alright, let's see if this is going to work. More than likely not. Right, we've got 4,452 litres there. Right, let's drop this in our grain bins, grab not a full load, it only takes, what do we get in total? We've got 15,000 litres. So we need to put in 15,000 litres of corn here and get that straight into the dryer, get it activated again. And then we are going to load up all the dry corn we've got, as much sorghum as we can get in another hopper, and corn as well into the other hopper. And get that over to the ethanol plant. We're going to get that started again. When is the best price for ethanol? May, so we've got plenty of time for that. Right, we need to take out corn and put that in as well. There's so much to do today and the rain's on. Right, so corn. But we need only 15,000 litres. Or just less. That'll do. So I'm going to end up with leaving corn in the trailer. We need to leave the trailer in there so it's nice and dry for taking out the dry corn and putting it into this silo again. Right. This is going to be a funny angle, but it should work. It's close enough. It's going to work. Right, we'll leave that unloading. We need to go and jump in the truck now, get that loaded up with the 3 different products, take it over to the ethanol plant, we'll get that started. And now that we're loading into the corn dryer, we can start this production now. And then just another minute or two, we're going to get the ethanol plant started as well. So let's get cracking on with this. Hopefully we can skip a bit of time as well, get rid of that rain, and it's still quite warm, 24 degrees, so we should be okay for getting going with the combine. And I don't think the rain's meant to last long, until maybe 3 or 4 o'clock, so there's only about an hour, maybe 2 at the most, of rain, so it's not too bad. Right, we need to turn in here. This is very awkward. Right, we're going to load this up. We'll see you over at the ethanol plant to get it finally going, and hopefully the rain clears up in the next hour or two and we can get back to harvesting sunflowers and get that contract completed. Well, here we go. We've only used that trailer once for 1 load of propane. It's almost like a waste of money, but then you realize how much money you can get from the ethanol plant. Right, hopefully there's no issues tipping this in, because we had this last, yeah, there's still that. I don't know what's happening. It just has to unload here, but if I do that, it's just going to put it all on the ground. Right, I don't know what the issue is with this. Let's try the back hopper. So we can dump sorghum. That's weird. Right, 20,000 litres of sorghum going in. Let's just check and make sure this is actually putting it in. We were going to wait for the corn dryer to put another few thousand litres, but we decided just to go with this. So sorghum's going in. Yep, 27,000 litres, that's fine. Right, let's try corn. There we go. Right, it's working. That's weird because sorghum was in the back hopper, further back on that cell, well, the load point, and corn's right at the very front. That's a bit weird, unless there's an issue with dried corn. It's definitely selected the back. Yeah. So do I need to move further forward? Right, so dried corns are an issue just now. Let's try further back. It's not doing it either. Right, well we definitely have 12,453 litres in there. Right, that is a bit odd. I'll try again. Do I need to be right over the middle for dried corn? Definitely is odd. So dried corn not accepted, so it's still doing the same as last time. Right, let's go and manually add in 12,453 litres to the 0 litres that's in there. So we'll go and do that just now. Right, that should be that tipped into the trigger now. 12,453 litres. If you are having issues with this, I did see somebody commented on one of the videos with the last one with the ethanol plant, I think episode 5, where we couldn't get propane in there and they were wondering how it's done. So it's Easy Development Tools, which is F12 on PC, obviously a script mod, you can't get this on console. You just stand over the trigger, press F12, go to the placeables here, and then you can tip to the trigger. So we just added dry corn, and then you can fill it full or add, but you cannot remove it once it's in. And then for taking out of the trailer, so if we just quickly jump into the truck there, we can still see we've got 12,453 litres. Again, back into here, but we go to vehicles, and then the fill level in unit 2, because this is the first half of the trailer, second unit, and then we are going to empty that. So that's the trailer now emptied, because that is the second unit in the first trailer. And then same, you need to select on the top left, you need to select which section of the trailer you are in, and then obviously first and second modules for the back one as well. So fairly easy, but just a bit awkward to do. So we'll pull out of here. It was the same with the propane, you would just stand over the trigger, F12, select propane, and then put in the amount you had in the trailer, or whatever you were doing with it. But let's go in here. Now we've got some corn, almost 30,000 litres of corn, almost 12,500 litres of dry corn, 27 and a bit thousand litres of sorghum, and still 28,000 litres of propane. But let's activate that. So now we have ethanol on the go. We are going to keep doing corn just now, turn it into dried corn. Once we get about 30,000 litres, we're going to take it over, unless this needs more by then, because it is 12 dry corn to 3 of everything else. So we may run out of corn pretty quickly, but I do know the dryer keeps up, it is very fast, so that is good. Potatoes, 432 litres there as well. And we do need to cultivate our fields, but I think the cornfields would need ploughed. Let's just check. Yeah, so we need to plough the cornfields, and then we can cultivate 3, 7 and 13 as well. Right, we are going to head back over to the yard. Let's cover this trailer up now so it doesn't get absolutely soaking. We're going to give it a quick wash back at the yard because it is a bit too dirty. And obviously we're taking things straight in here that is clean product for making ethanol. Right, we're going to skip forward a couple of hours, see how much dry corn we can get by keeping it topped up. And then we'll see you in a few hours. Hopefully we're starting this, not the sorghum, we're starting the sunflower contract again. We did start it, but we only got maybe 100 feet or so into the field, and then we had to stop. While we're getting going, I'm just opening this up just now, getting this all empty before he gets to the end here. Because we're going to be stuck. Oh, I thought the pylons were at this side, maybe not. We should be okay. But there is a worker heading over to field 61 for quite possibly the biggest oh, he's here now. For the biggest contract we've ever had, I think. Field 61 is to be ploughed, and he's heading over there with a quad track now on what appears to be the wrong side of the road. I don't know why he's done that, but the combine's just knocked over the signpost. Oh, that's great. But yeah, he's heading over there. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, the workers, they need a bit of work, I think. He's going to wreck the tracks on that quad track. But anyway, yeah, so the biggest contract I think we've had so far, and this is going to set us up for winter for sure. So let's take a quick look here. Plough field 61 is a massive field, 53, almost 54 hectares. So it's one of the biggest, in fact I think it's the biggest field in the map. We'll just check. $181,354, so we were not passing that up. Let's take a look for size comparison. Oh yeah, it definitely is. Field 61 is this kind of greenish one over to the right here on the east side of the map, kind of central. So it is quite huge, and it would cost $3.2 million to purchase. So that is quite a large field. This is going to take a good bit of time to complete. However, there is still a couple of other contracts. We want to try and get both of these cultivating contracts taken as well. Potentially that fertilizing contract. I think that was it just now. There is sowing. We could do barley. But I think that would be us just now. But getting that 2 contracts is going to be fantastic. I'm just going to chase after this combine again and get another load of sunflowers in. We can use these for what we are going to do as well. In place of canola and soybeans, because I believe we only have a little amount of canola. Yeah, 21,000 litres. So what we get from here will be a big boost. And we'll just check as well on these productions, see how they're doing. So we need to get some more corn. That's fine at the moment, but ideally we'd like some more dry corn. There is a bit in the trailer. I think there's maybe 8,000 litres in the trailer, plus this almost 2,000 litres. And they got 632 litres. We did put a couple more buckets of potatoes in, so we've got 18,500 litres in there working away. So we are getting there, but it looks like if we can get this couple of contracts done today, probably tomorrow. Have we got the time to do that? Yeah, there's 30 hours. So we have till, I think it would be next month. So we have today, the rest of today and tomorrow. So I'm going to keep that quad track working away, however long it takes to finish that. Oh, he's doing that cut. No, now we're going to have to follow him up to the top, get him on the way back then. Hope he doesn't fill up by the time he reaches the top, because that's going to be really annoying. So yeah, we're going to continue on with harvesting this, do this contract. He's going to work away ploughing that field, and then we'll do 2 cultivating contracts, potentially a fertilising, maybe a sowing contract, depends how much time we've got, but we can maybe do it tomorrow as well. I'll just check the sale quickly. Nothing we need at the moment. Ideally another high horsepower tractor, and then we can sell the Massey and get it gone, because it's not really ideal. It speeds up and slows down when it's doing little hills. So it's not the best, but we've got it just now if we need. We're going to use it at the yard to move about that big trailer of dry corn, and use the little Agco tractor for moving small loads of corn in to get dried. Going to work away doing that. We'll finish up this contract, see how he gets on later on with the ploughing contract, and we'll probably see you in the morning. Well, we're now into the second day of October. It's 25 minutes past midnight, and we're finishing off the sunflower contract. I'm just trying to think what side that's going to dump from. The back compartment, there was virtually nothing in there. And here, so we've got 54,838 litres. There was another load, but it wasn't quite full. We just ran up here because we wouldn't have been able to get any more out of the combine until it had finished its next pass, then headed back up the field again. But we are 94% complete, and I'm trying to think what side this is going to come from, because we need to try and leave it in the front hopper if possible. This is going to be close to finishing. It's going to use some out of the front hopper, I think. Yeah, there's still a couple of percent to go. 85% of the way there though. Let's see how much of this we are left with. There we go. So $759 of extra from the harvest, and 11,476 litres of sunflowers we get to keep from that contract. But the other contract's finished as well. I actually realised that that plough runs a bit quicker. It runs at like 11 and a bit, maybe 11 3/4 mile an hour. Because it's not quite 12, but it seems quite fast for 11 miles an hour. So I think it's closer to 12. So it has completed it quite quickly. It was about 10 minutes ago or so. But we need to run back, drop this into our grain bins, move the truck out of the road, because we should have a full trailer load of corn, dry corn, sitting in the shed, because we hooked it up to the Massey tractor, and hopefully it's just sat and tipped out to there, and it should be full, if not fairly close to full, unless we need to activate it ourselves. So we're going to go back to the farm, have a look at that, see where we're at for dry corn. We're probably going to load up everything we've got for dry corn. Depends how much hoppers it takes up in the truck and how much we've actually got. I was going way too quick there. So yeah, it depends on how much we've actually got. It's probably not going to fill up more than 2 hoppers on this trailer. So we're going to use the front ones for dry corn, and then we're going to use the back one. We're going to take a load of sorghum, I think, and potentially a load of corn as well. But we need to check to see how much we've got when we get back to the farm. So we'll see you there in just a minute. Right, that's us back at the farm now. So we'll just drop the sunflowers into our bins there. So 11,476 litres. That means we've now got wheat, sunflowers, sorghum, canola, barley, and some corn if we have left over, but we prefer to use sorghum. That's why we did a bit more of the contracts and had our own fields as well. Because sorghum we can use for what we're going to be doing I would usually say we would jump into tomorrow, or we'll be doing it tomorrow, but it's today now. We're already into October 2nd, so I'm going to skip forward some time, but first we're going to look to see if this trailer is full or not. I'm hoping it is. How much is left in here? 3,800. That's still looking very full, so we'll just take out whatever is left that we can get. Oh no, it's full. 30,000 litres. Perfect. So it's still running. I did top it up not too long ago. That's why we're so late in getting going to finish that contract. In fact, speaking about contracts, let's go and complete them. So harvesting, that was that sunflower one we just did, $37,006. And then the big one, that massive field, 61, $181,354 for ploughing that field. So now our bank is sitting at $317,170. So we've got more than enough to last through winter. I'm pretty sure there's going to be contracts tomorrow as well. The weather's still pretty good in November, and then it plummets in December through January, and we're expecting some snow at the start of January as well. But it's away to rain in the next hour here, and then it won't rain again until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So we do have tomorrow, which should be decently dry, to get a few more contracts done if they come through. I'd like to get that cultivating ones done just to boost the bank balance. Maybe the fertilizing one. Potentially both sunflower contracts, just so we have some extra sunflowers. Again, maybe that sowing contract, because we can do both of them. But that's tomorrow. I say tomorrow. That's today's issue when we wake up after we've had a sleep. Potatoes, we've now got one full pallet, so we'll run down and have a look at that. Still got plenty of potatoes, and it doesn't use much oil, so we don't need to worry about that so much. That'll last quite a while. Still plenty of propane. The sorghum, I think, to be honest, we've got 30,000 litres, which brings us to 40,000. I think we don't need to take corn and sorghum over. We need to dry some more corn and keep it running. However, we're away to jump forward a few hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deactivate this, because that is going to disappear very, very quickly. So we're going to take all the dry corn we have. In fact, I'll activate this again, run it till it's empty, then skip forward time. We'll see you in the morning. We'll take a load of dry corn over. That should be enough to last till morning, but I will keep an eye on it. And we'll put this away into our grain bin just now, because we'll take it over with a truck just in case the rain hits. We've still got corn in there, but we'll tip that in. Right, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll skip forward a few hours into the morning. We'll see you then. We'll take this over to the ethanol plant, see what contracts we've got. And then I think to finish up the episode, I think if we can get a couple of contracts kind of finished off in the morning, let's put some lights on here. I think we may be able to get what we've been planning to do that we've never done before. So let's skip forward time. I'll keep an eye on our production chains. This is very bad at reversing. There we go. There's a lot of wheel spin there. Oh no, that's going to take ages. Let's do that way. Nope, that's still the back. Why is it doing that? There we go, that's it. So yeah, we'll skip forward into the morning, and we'll see you then, see what we've got for productions. And let's take some dry corn over to the ethanol plant to keep it running, do a couple of contracts, and see if we can't purchase what we were planning on doing. Well, let's him just finish the contract now, just in time, because we're just finishing up this harvesting contract. So he's done 2 fields, or he's cultivated 2 fields, and we did the sunflower contract. on field 87, which is just finishing now. We'll just pull in. We got, was it 2 loads? Or almost 2 full loads. They were a bit off. And then we've got 68,000 in this last load. We'll just jump in and check the other ones. Once it's finished saving, of course. So we've still got quite a bit of corn in there. We've got about 1,000 litres of dried corn plus what's in the trailer. We've got 8,300 litres of dried corn left, so we're going to take a load over there. Still plenty of potatoes, so that's fine. Right, let's finish this first, then we'll do all the contracts in one go. See how much sunflowers we are going to be left with. That's 83% already. I think that's going to be at the front hopper, isn't it? Yeah. We'll just switch hoppers just now. It should be the back one, so all the weight's up the front. Yeah, there we go. It should empty this one and then we're into the next hopper. Oh no, that's it already. Oh wow. So $1,190 of extra income plus 24,639 litres of sunflowers extra. So that will go with the sunflowers we already got, which is 11,400. So now we've got enough to do what we need to do. We just need to see if the money is going to be enough now. So harvesting field 87 with the sunflowers, $52,838. Cultivating field 109, $32,310. And cultivating 58, $31,345. Let's go see if anything else has popped up recently. Just to see, so there's another sunflower, 2 sunflowers, soybeans, green beans, 2 cotton, and a sorghum. So still kind of what was there yesterday. I don't think we're going to be able to get that other corn contract, which is kind of annoying. It would have helped, depending on how much we had left. Let's have a look here. Crop types, that's it there, field 73. So it's quite a big field compared to what we have. But that is the only cornfield in the whole game, and that's why. It has been harvested already. Well, that's not ideal. Right, we currently have $432,595 in the bank. We were aiming to keep around about $200-ish thousand in the bank. So we are going to actually manage to do what we were planning to do originally. So we need to buy a small section of land between our kind of cluster of fields on the southwest of the map. In fact, let's go buy that now. So field 148, $149,328. We are going to buy that. That leaves us with 283. So we've got about 83,000 to spend. Let's check the sale first. No, still nothing to... I mean, we could get the seeder to do some seeding contracts, but we've got a planter already, and that does... it does essentially what we need. Right, we're going to head back down to the farm just now, tip this into our grain bins, get loaded up with some dry corn, take that over to the ethanol plant to keep that supplied, and then when it's a bit more daylight, we are going to make the purchase of what we're looking to do. So we'll look forward to that in just a minute. Just now, we're going to drop this off and we'll skip forward a couple hours just so it's a bit more daylight and see what our plan has been. Well, we spent $44,000 on what you can see now, that shed there, or barn. We've also spent $13,420 on fencing and another $25,000 on a manure heap. Now you might be thinking cows or sheep, but we did say it's something we've never done before. Now we are going to be doing pigs because we've never done it, and we have finally figured out what they need to eat because it's always been a mystery to me. And the main reason for kind of doing this is, one, it's something different. We've never done it before. I don't know, that should have been a grass pasture. Why has that not worked? And why are the bushes still in there? Maybe need to plant a tree or something in there for them. But first, let's go and buy some. Yeah, so it's something different. We've never done it before, and we've never really understood the feeding process behind it. So usually we would never have as much products as this. This is why we did that extra contract for canola, barley, sorghum, sunflowers and wheat, and we grew our own sorghum as well because this was our plan. So they need 4 different types of feed. They need a base feed, a grain feed, a protein feed and a root crop feed. This also ties in with the potatoes and the sugar beet. For the root crops it gives them 5%. I might show you here. Yes, so to have complete effectiveness you need to have a certain amount of each of these. This is what I'm going to struggle with, because if I fill the base food just now I've got with sorghum full, and it's got a capacity of 7,000 litres and I fill it with 7,000 litres, I can't put anything else in, so they're only going to get 50%. So the root crops is 5% worth. Now we're going to use potatoes just now until either we run out for doing the chips or we've got sugar beet. Sugar beet we're going to do next year, and that's going to be used to store in bulk store, because I assume we're going to need quite a lot of litres. And we're going to use that for the biogas plant when we eventually purchase it. So that's the reason for moving potatoes just now and getting that field, so that we've got the root crops to give them full 100% effectiveness for their feed. The 20% for the proteins, we can use soybeans, canola or sunflowers. Obviously we've got canola and sunflowers now. The 25% for grain, we need wheat and barley. We've got both. And the base food is 50%. We need sorghum and corn. That's why I did a few extra sorghum contracts and planted our own. So we've got 58,000 litres there. Plus I think we've got just over 7,000 litres in the trailer, because I don't want to use the corn because it's more profitable to put it through the ethanol plant. However, let's purchase some pigs. So it says they eat nearly anything, apart from the things they can't. Feed them corn, wheat, barley, canola, sunflowers, soybeans, potatoes, sorghum and sugar beets. They do require water. However, being a barn, I don't think they do require water. Let's just have a quick check in here. Slurry, straw, manure. So we will need to put straw in to get manure, which we will be doing when we get straw. I put a manure pit in. I spent $25,000 on a manure pit and we can't use it because we need straw and we haven't done any baling yet. So that was pretty pointless. Nevertheless, we now have sheep, or we will in a minute. So these are piglets, healthy and older than 6 months, can reproduce. And these ones are obviously just a little bit closer for reproduction, but we don't really need that yet. We just want a mix of them. So this pasture can hold 162 pigs. Obviously we're not going to fill it right up because we're going to run out of feed and we're going to have to buy it from the store, which I think works out as very expensive, because apart from the potatoes or the sugar beet for next year, we have all the equipment to harvest, plant, make everything 100%. So apart from the sugar beet, that's going to be our loss of money. But we're going to get it back when we get the biogas plant. That's the plan and that's my hope. Whether it works, I don't know. Anyway, let's buy... well, in 6 months they're going to reproduce, and from the testing I've done, they don't just reproduce one. They can reproduce several at a time. And if we have 6 of each of the 3 breeds producing 3 piglets each, the feed rises very quickly. So I think we're going to stick with 6 of them. We're going to do a bit of each. We're going to do the German Landrace. We're going to get 6 of the Black Pied and 6 Berkshire as well. So $1,380. We don't have a trailer because we didn't think we needed one quite yet, although we may do. But it's not worth it yet because we're going to keep them for 30 odd months, maybe 40 months, or until the reproduction cycle kicks in to the point that we need to sell the ones we've bought just now because they're oldest, and the new ones, they're always reproducing. Then we'll maybe look at a trailer. So there's the Black Pied ones, another $1,380. And the Berkshire, finally, we'll get 6 of these guys, $1,380. So that's them in now. It doesn't give any info here until I start putting feed in. So now this is where I kind of need to watch what I'm doing, because if I put in too much of this sorghum, it will accept it, and it won't let me put any more feed in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it to, if we can move to the point there. How quick does that tip? Not very. Right, let's check there. So there's not much in just now. Let's tip some more in. I think we'll need quite a lot of this because they're all going to go down at the same rate, but with root crops you'll only need maybe 2,000 litres. I think a little bit more. It's trying to judge it right and not mess it up, but once we get the hang of it, I think that'll do. That's about halfway. 5,000, so we must have 10,000 total capacity. Right, we're going to drop this sorghum off. We'll go back and get our grains, which we can either use wheat or barley because we've got both, and we're not having chickens, so we don't need barley. We're going to focus on the pigs now, which you can just about see them because they're so small. I was going to buy the pasture, but then we needed to buy a water tanker to supply water, and it's October. They've got about a month, and then they're going to be freezing cold out in the minus 10 to 15 degree weather, which wasn't fair. So we put the barn in, which is a little bit extra money, but it means it's an all year round thing. We can keep breeding the pigs as we go. So we're going to drop this back in. We'll do a small time lapse just now of us putting the wheat or barley, then we'll do a bit of canola or sunflowers, then we'll take a couple of buckets worth of potatoes, maybe one bucket to be honest. I don't think we're going to need that much, but let's do a little time lapse, get these fed, and we'll see you in a little bit once they've got feed. Well, that was quite possibly the slowest load of 1,300 litres of potatoes ever. So we are going to need to invest in something, especially even with potatoes. It's the same as sugar beet, it's going to be the same bucket, so we're going to need something bigger. This isn't going to take much. I think I overcooked the, yeah, how much is that? 79 litres. Yeah, I definitely overcooked the canola there. I thought it was 10,000, so I was way off. So now I need to take this numbers and try and figure out the best ratio to do, and then just take up enough to top up when one gets low. But they should all come down at the same amount, at the same kind of scale. You know, it'll use 5% of the root crops, whereas it'll use 50% of the base food. For every 100 litres, it'll use 50 base food, 5 litres of root crops. So hopefully we can get enough out of here with the root crop still having maybe 5 or 6 litres left, and then we can top up with more. So I think if we just leave this tractor here, no, let's move it forward so that it's out of the tip area, and then we can just top it up when we need to, when it gets low enough. But let's take a quick look in the pen. If we can get in. I can just have a vision here of maybe 10 months time this pen is going to be swarming with pigs and piglets because they reproduce at a crazy rate. But we have done it, episode 11 here on Judith Plains, and we now have animals, and it's ones we've never done before. That one's having a little snooze already. He doesn't even know there's feed in the pen now. But this is fantastic. I can't wait to see this progress and see what we eventually get. We'll probably upgrade the building in time. I think that one's eaten, I'm not sure. Although that does just look like potatoes in there. What was that 10 for? Slurry. We've got 10 litres of slurry already. And we've had them for not even 1 hour. So slurry is automatic. That'll be for, we don't need a slurry pit then, that's what this is for. Yes. So now we need to look for a slurry tanker of some sorts. There was one in the sale. No, there wasn't. Was it this I was thinking of? I think it was this one. So a slurry tanker is what we need now, because obviously when we do our next crop for next year, we're doing corn, sorghum, sugar beet, and hopefully purchasing another field to use strictly for corn. But because none of them are going to be for human consumption, it's all to basically feed the pigs and the ethanol plant. We can put manure, slurry, all that stuff on it. So we can use the slurry from here for every field we have for the moment, until we start selling stuff that we can't use ourselves or put through productions ourselves, which I think everything at the moment we can, because they'll take the canola, dried corn, and corn's obviously the ethanol plant, same with the sorghum. The sorghum is also for here, same with the sunflowers and the wheat. Yeah, so everything we are producing right now, or everything we grew this year and for next year, can all have slurry put onto it. So that's going to be a big deal. It doesn't say here oh yeah, it still said 10 litres of slurry. I don't know how long it's going to take to change, maybe once every 20 minutes or something just now, because there's not much of them in there. Right, I think that is enough for this episode, because it's dragged on enough. But we do have pigs, which is a fantastic addition to the farm. And obviously we have this section of land here as well. So it's a decent size. That means with this path here, we could potentially extend that field there, which was corn. We can extend it around to where this path goes up to here. We'll leave a bigger gap obviously for planters and, you know, combines coming through. We could maybe stop it somewhere down, I don't know, here. And we could take it right across to that field there and make a slightly bigger field, or merge the two fields together. Not that we need to do that, because this map is full of huge fields. But we are planning next year, I think either field 11 or 20 we are going to purchase, and then the year after I think we're going to make our way up to 22 and 24, and then start coming back down 21 and 17. Hopefully it's going to take quite a few episodes and maybe a few years, but we're hoping to get field 6 with the cotton down here, fields 35 and 39, because they are large fields. Like field 6 and 35 alone could power the ethanol plant for most of the year. That's the plan. Whether or not it works, I don't know. But what we do need to do is we need to take on maybe 2 or 3 contracts just to get our money up to ideally 250,000, and then we won't need to touch a contract until March. March, if we can time it right, March is either going to be in the minus by 40,000, or we're going to have 40,000 left in March. It just depends how the finance comes off and if we can get a couple of contracts. We don't want to overdo with the contracts. We want to try and keep to our own stuff. But in the meantime, for the next episode, we are going to be jumping straight into these fields. These need ploughed. All the corn fields, the 3 of them need ploughed, and the other 2 need cultivated. So we'll leave this episode here. Hope you enjoyed it, and you've seen what we were working towards since very close to the start, something we've never done before, which is the pigs. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again for the next one very soon. Thanks for watching.